Charles AP, he finishes with a win, 5-4. The Raiders under Antonio Pierce. Do you feel like this is the man long term for the job based on what we saw?
Yeah. I've said it a few weeks ago. I think the way that when he came in and he took over, you could see the immediate change. You could see the immediate response from the players in their play. You've seen guys that you hadn't heard their names a whole lot all of a sudden start turning in performances. Like Kris is a guy who all of a sudden when AP took over, like he shot because he shot up because they knew what to get out of him and how to get it out of him. So you have a guy like that, like AP, who can recognize the talent and get guys to play above what anybody thought they could. That's when you know you got a guy that understands the game, understands coaching, understands ability. So
over the past few weeks, there's been a ton of speculation on who's going to be the next head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, a team that has a lot of developing to do, but also is heading in the right direction. And there's been a lot of names, thrown out there. Antonio Pierce, who has a ton of guys who want him back on this team, including Maxx Crosby, who said, listen, I want this guy as my head coach. But then there's also, some candidates out there like Kris Richard of the Saints. And then you have another defensive-minded coach in Leslie Frazier, who is leading the Buffalo Bills on a nice little playoff run right now as a defensive coordinator. But I think the answer is right in front of us and has been here the whole time. Now, before I deep dive into who I want to be the head coach, who do you want to be the head coach? Do you want it to be Antonio Pierce? I feel like this is a great way for the Raiders to, one, respond to the fans. A lot of these fans want Antonio Pierce to be the head coach, but also the players do as well. There will be no excuses when it comes down to it, because let's say they go out and hire Leslie Frazier or Kris Richard, and fans didn't want that. They're gonna blame Mark Davis. But I think Antonio Pierce is the right guy for this job. He got everyone bought in. He had a rookie quarterback at the helm, and he got this team some football wins, right? And I think that matters big in the NFL. I think he has a lot of guys, behind him. I think a lot of guys want him to be here, and I think he's going to make this football team great in the future. Now, comment down below who you want to be that coach. But in this video, let's break down some plays that we've seen from this offense with Antonio Pierce, but also let's break down some plays from Leslie Frazier over there in Buffalo and showcase why maybe he could be a good fit as well. Comment down below who you think should be the coach, but let's dive into the video. Now, one of the major reasons I believe Antonio Pierce should be here right now is just because of the fact that this team over here in Vegas, they deserve a sense of consistency. Not only would Antonio Pierce be here for a full offseason, be able to put his, staples on this team in terms of signing guys and drafting guys and whatnot, but also it's going to give these players like Maxx Crosby and Davante Adams and Aidan O'Connell a sense of, knowing the system and not being able to go from John Gruden to Josh McDaniels to Antonio Pierce and now a new guy. You know what I mean? So I feel like it would give them a sense of home here in Vegas. And I thought Aidan O'Connell, who was a rookie this year, played really, really good football at times. And I think if you give Antonio Pierce another weapon, another, maybe another quarterback, maybe another or more defensive players, I think he can really lead this team to a winning record this season, right? On this play, I love this by Aidan O'Connell. What we're going to get is a quick slant by Davante Adams, but look at this throw into a tight window. You got Khalil Mack playing this hook curl. You got a deep little safety right here, and then you got this corner over the top here on Davante. He fits into a tight window. Listen, not only do I think Antonio Pierce is the man for the job to coach his football team, but I think Aidan O'Connell has a bright future in the NFL if he can continue developing. The only way he's going to be able to do that is if he sticks around here with Antonio Pierce. I think it is so crucial. Now, before we keep going into the next one, do you guys think Aidan O'Connell is the man for this football team? Yes or no? Because I feel like there's a lot of, different opinions here of Aidan O'Connell in this football team. I feel like a lot of people want them to go out and, draft a quarterback like Jaden Daniels or even Caleb Williams if they can trade up to the top. I don't really know who they could get here, but it's going to be tough to really bring in someone that could be a day one starter unless you trade up. Now, I thought Aidan O'Connell made a lot of good plays here. You got pressure coming on the outside by Khalil Mack. Steps up, avoids the pressure, does an unbelievable job scanning the field, going to his progressions, and makes a fabulous throw to the left sideline. Unbelievable play there by Aidan O'Connell. That's on 4th and 10. Listen, the guy started making plays here, and I think he deserves another shot with the head coach here in Antonio Pierce. Now, before we jump into my second option here for the Raiders head coaching job in Leslie Frazier, do me a quick favor, guys. Hit that like button just so we can help get this video out to more Raiders fans around the world. I will be covering the Raiders throughout the entirety of the offseason process. That includes head coaching, that includes potential draft selections, potential free agent signings, and we're going to be breaking down some film with the Raiders all year long. So make sure you guys join the family. Subscribe if you're new. Turn on post notifications so you're notified not only every time we go live for a game, but every time we post a video as well. And also comment down below more film if you guys want me to see, or if you guys want me to post more film breakdowns. But man, I'm loving what the Raiders have done this season with Antonio Pierce, and I'm excited to see what they do next. Lastly, make sure you guys do me a big favor. Go check out BetUS, my absolute favorite sportsbook on the radar right now in the world. Not only are they giving away Super Bowl tickets, but they're also going to match your first deposit up to 125%. Basically, just giving you guys free money. You need to go check it out. Use the code in the description. Get that 125% bonus, but also go lock in. Go try to win some Super Bowl tickets as well. But man, Leslie Frazier, let's talk a little bit about him. Now, what he's done for this Bills team this season and over the past couple of years has been nothing short of, amazing. I mean, this season, they're ranking number 4 in the NFL in points allowed per game, right? One of the best defenses in football. They get to the quarterback at a high level, and they have a bunch of guys that can do it. Imagine bringing him over here and having him pair up with Maxx Crosby and a couple of guys like Malcolm Kuntz, who's been really breaking out this season as well. I think he could be huge for this defense. However, do the Raiders want to do that? I don't know. I think defense is a top priority for this football team here in Las Vegas. However, I just don't know if it's worth it giving up on Antonio Pierce. They also rank number 6th in the NFL, the Bills. Number 6 in the NFL in touchdowns allowed per game, which is crazy. But they're also one of the best passing defense in football. Guys, I'm telling you. With the Raiders, if they can get a good pass defense, a good secondary here, which they haven't had in a very long time, I think that could make them, difference makers. But like I said, do you guys think it's worth it? Do you give up on Antonio Pierce, a guy who has the entire team bought in, to bring in a defensive head coach or a defensive-minded guy that can maybe really turn around the defense, but also maybe the players here in Vegas right now don't want to be here anymore without Antonio Pierce? That's a decision they have to make, and I ultimately think they will make a decision where they, keep Antonio Pierce here for the foreseeable future. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I think there is a lot of speculation on who it may be, and I've even heard some Jim Harbaugh. Maybe Jim Harbaugh comes out. I don't think he'll be on the Raiders. I think it will be Antonio Pierce. That's my prediction here. But man, the Bills had a great defense this year, and bringing in a defensive mind like that maybe wouldn't hurt. But at the end of the day, if I had to make a decision, I'm going Antonio Pierce, man. There comes a point where you value the respect of your players on this football team, like the Maxx Crosbys and everyone, Trayvon Mulrig and Jack Jones and Malcolm Kuntz. You respect what they think, and if they think Antonio Pierce, you go Antonio Pierce.